Be sure to share, like, subscribe, and comment down below. Susan Rice's lawyer responds to Grassley inquiry about bizarre emails she sent herself on Trump's Inauguration Day. Last week, Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley uncovered the unusual email former National Security Advisor to Barack Obama, Susan Rice, had sent herself on January 20th of 2017, Donald Trump's Inauguration Day. Susan Rice sent herself an unusual email on January 20th, memorializing a secret meeting she had on January 5th with Obama, Comey, Biden, Sally Yates to discuss Russian interference. Now, Susan Rice's lawyers responded to Congress late Friday in a letter claiming the Obama administration was afraid to share classified intel with General Flynn. Seriously? Now, Politico reported this. They said a lawyer for President Barack Obama's National Security Advisor, Susan Rice, told Congress late Friday that the outgoing administration was fearful of sharing classified intelligence with members of the incoming Trump team, especially Rice's successor, Lieutenant General Michael Flynn. Now, in a letter to lawmakers, Rice's lawyer, Catherine Romler, said Rice drafted a January 20, 2017 email to herself on the advice of White House counsel to memorialize the outgoing administration's reluctance. Now, President Obama and his national security team were justifiably concerned about the potential risks to the nation's security from sharing highly classified information about Russia with certain members of the Trump transition team, particularly Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, Rice's lawyer said. Also, Rice's lawyer claims that Susan Rice was not informed about the FISA applications sought by the FBI in its investigation, that she only learned about them from the press reports after leaving office, and that the dossier was never discussed in this meeting. However, this is obviously hard to believe, being that Rice has a track record of lying, and Comey, who was one of the attendees in this secret meeting she was in on with the January 5th, traveled to Trump Tower the very next day to brief Trump on the dossier. Now, the dossier and FISA warrants never came up in the meeting. Yeah, okay. Now, Susan Rice's lawyer also claimed there was nothing unusual about this email. Now, the letter that her lawyer sent in response to Grassley and Graham says this. It says, "I write on behalf of my client, Ambassador Susan Rice, in response to a February 8, 2018 letter from Chairman Grassley and Graham. The letter poses a series of questions regarding a memorandum to file Ambassador Rice drafted on January 20th of 2017 concerning a discussion on January 5th of 2017, according to public reporting. Now, Chairman Grassley received this document from the National Archives and Record Administration more than 8 months ago." It goes on to say that the memorandum to file drafted by Ambassador Susan Rice memorialized an important national security discussion between President Obama and the FBI Director and Deputy Attorney General. President Obama and his national security team were justifiably concerned about potential risks to the nation's security from sharing highly classified information about Russia with certain members of the Trump transition team, particularly Lieutenant General Michael Flynn. Now, in light of concerning communications between members of the Trump team and the Russian officials before and after the election, President Trump, on behalf of his national security team, appropriately sought the FBI and Department of Justice guidance on this subject. In the conversation, Ambassador Rice documented there was no discussion of Christopher Steele or the Steele dossier, contrary to the suggestion in your letter. It also says that give the importance and sensitivity of the subject matter, and upon the advice of the White House's Counsel Office, Ambassador Rice created a permanent record of the discussion. Now, Ambassador Rice memorialized the discussion on January 20th because that was the first opportunity she had to do so, given the particularly intense responsibilities of the National Security Advisor during the remaining days of the administration and transition. Ambassador Rice memorialized the discussion in an email sent to herself during the morning of January 20th of 2017. The timestamp reflected on the email is not accurate, as Ambassador Rice departed the White House shortly before noon on January 20th. Now, while serving as National Security Advisor, Ambassador Rice was not briefed on the existence of any FBI investigation into allegations of collusion between Mr. Trump's associates and Russia, and she later learned of the fact of this investigation from Director Comey's subsequent public testimony. Ambassador Rice was not informed of any FISA applications sought by the FBI in its investigation, and she only learned of them from press reports after leaving office. Ambassador Rice believes that it is critical that Congress fully and faithfully investigate Russian efforts to distribute the 2016 presidential election, including the actions taken by the government to respond to those efforts. To that end, she has testified voluntarily in connection with the inquiries being conducted by the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence and the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence on that topic. I trust this satisfies your need for information on this topic. Sincerely, Catherine H. Rumler. Now, that was the letter that Susan Rice's lawyer sent in response to Graham and Grassley. Now, General Flynn was definitely targeted and taken down by the deep state. The secret meeting Rice had with the crooked Obama administration took place 1 week after Flynn's phone call with the Russian ambassador Kislyak. Now, a few days later, after Rice's secret meeting, news of Flynn's phone call with Kislyak illegally leaked to the liberal media. Now, Flynn was subsequently ambushed by the FBI and sucked into an interview without his lawyer, and ultimately fired from his position as National Security Advisor. So be sure to share, like, subscribe, and comment down below, and tell me how you feel about this report. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Let's make America great again. Peace.